Fox News alert. It's a race against the clock to save 12 boys and their soccer coach trapped in a flooded cave in Thailand as tragedy strikes. Trace Gallagher standing by with the latest. Trace?
And Marie, for the past 4 days, the rescue teams in and around those caves in Thailand have had very high hopes for getting those 12 boys and their coach out safely. But now that optimism has diminished a bit following the death of a Thai Navy SEAL. The 38-year-old expert diver was coming out of the cave around 1 o'clock in the morning when he ran out of oxygen and passed out. At the time, he was trying to establish an oxygen line into the chamber where the boys are trapped because the oxygen level in there has dropped from 21% to 15%. That's significant. They are now using canisters to try and fill the cavern with more oxygen to kind of raise the level. The diver's death highlights what we have been emphasizing for days, which is that even for experts, getting in and out of the cave is extremely dangerous. And most of these boys don't even know how to swim, let alone utilize dive gear through muddy water and narrow passageways. Earlier on Shepard Smith reporting, I spoke with a former Secret Service agent and rescue diver about the emotional toll of trying to swim out. Watch.
When you're nervous or you're anxious or you don't know what you're doing or it's dark and the waters are murky and they're raging, I mean, there are a number of factors that just go really negatively, in my opinion, for a water rescue.
It's worth noting that some of the passageways are so narrow that even with the help of expert divers, there are portions of the trip out, like a mile, mile and a half, where the boys would have to navigate the channels alone. For now, the rescue teams are waiting, but if the oxygen levels continue to drop inside the cave or the water levels rise because of these monsoon rains that are forecast this weekend, swimming out sooner than later may be the only option. Wow. Marie.
Thanks, Trace. Well, Kimberly, this is a horrific story. It was initially happy when they were found because we didn't know for many days if they were actually alive. One cave diver has called this rescue the underground equivalent of climbing Mount Everest. Wow. It's about a 5-hour trip to reach them. I mean, what do we make of this, and how can people follow this story with anything but extreme sadness right now?
You know, it's really true. It's just heart-wrenching. It's heartbreaking when you think about it, when you think about somebody who's an expert in their field, the Thai Navy SEAL, God bless him, who was such a hero trying to go in to increase the oxygen levels in there so these children would be able to survive, and then he lost and gave his own life. That just goes to show you how dangerous and how serious and fraught the situation is. And you have to think that some of the best and brightest minds, you know, not just in this country but in the world, are trying to put their heads together to work cooperatively, and everybody comes together when you think about this to try to save the lives of, you know, children who are just really just relying on us, and just poor things are so desperate in there to be able to survive. And you see these images, and if you look at some of the graphics that you've seen on the internet, on the web, in terms of like the whole layout, right, the structure of it, you see how complicated it is, in fact, to be able to effectuate a rescue. And I just say to myself, this is really a situation where they, you know, they need like a miracle.
Yes,
they need our prayers, and they need everybody to really think in a creative, unique way about how they can do this, and, you know, keep them alive so that they can get them out.
Well, that's a good point, Jesse, because they're now looking at alternative ways to bring the group out. One option is possibly boring a hole down into the cave, sort of like they did with the Chilean miners, if folks remember that from several years ago. One option was for them to stay in the cave, bring in supplies, and they could stay there until the monsoon season ended, and then they could get out more safely. But now, as Trace mentioned, there's an oxygen problem. So there's 140 cave divers from around the world who are helping, and people are trying to come up with solutions here, which is a good thing. There's a lot of innovation in the world that maybe can help.
Yeah, they have the best and the brightest out there, and like Kimberly said, it's going to take a miracle. Sometimes miracles do happen, and in a way it's a sad story, but it's also a very uplifting story, because you see how much the world values life, and everybody comes together. All these experts are volunteering their own time and money to go in. Other countries are getting involved, other organizations. Burrowing the hole seems dangerous, because that could collapse it. And then just feeding them oxygen can only last for so long, because the monsoon season, I guess, ends in October, so that's what, 3 months from now.
Right.
And there's just limited resources. the analogy of it being an underground Mount Everest. Just think about it. But there's no guide. It's like these people are going in solo. It's dark, and then you have to train young, starving, terrified young boys how to swim and scuba dive on a level that not even experts can handle.
Right.
I'm praying for them, as Kimberly said.
So, Dana, there are people from around the world, from Britain, from China, from the U.S., some there trying to help. These are boys aged 11 to 16, and their 25-year-old coach.
So I agree in terms of the only thing that we can do is pray for them and to send positive thoughts because the rains are coming and Mother Nature has a way of reminding you that we are not all powerful. So I do think that's why prayers are in order. I'm of mixed feeling about following this so closely.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we can and that we can know that they're there, but I worry a little bit about just the social media part of it. For some reason, it gets under my skin.
Tyrus, what do you think about that?
As a parent, it's difficult to imagine, the frustration and the fear that they're going through. And I'm hoping that they're able to communicate with their children because swimming for a mile, as a guy who scuba dives, swimming for a mile underwater in the dark, I wouldn't try it myself, and to ask a small child to do that who is air deprived and afraid is just tragic. The whole scene's bad. So I really hope they're able to be with their parents, at least communicate with them or something.
Well, we will all keep praying for them, keep them and their families in our thoughts here. Meanwhile, the president ripping Democrats again over their continued calls to abolish ICE. That's next on The Five. Stay tuned.
With your sorrows and what always don't be raining on my Mardi Gras parade for a minute.
All right, President Trump coming to the defense of ICE during a rally last night as some mainstream Democrats continue their calls to abolish it.
The Democrats want open borders, which means lots of crime. We want tough, strong, powerful borders, and we want no crime, and we're going to protect ICE. We protect ICE. They protect us, and we protect them.
Also capturing the president's attention was the July 4th protester who scaled the Statue of Liberty because of his administration's immigration policies.
You saw that clown yesterday on the Statue of Liberty? You see the guys that went up there? I wouldn't have done it. I would have said, let's get some nets and let's wait till she comes down.
All right, Jesse, are Democrats on thin ice?
Ooh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well done, well done. I will say this about the woman that scaled the statue. She's totally selfish, and she cost the city a lot of money. She diverted resources that should be fighting crime in order to bring her down. She ruined July 4th for a bunch of families. 3,000 families had to be turned away.
Right.
4,000 families that were already at the statue had to be shipped out of there, all because of what? She disagrees with the immigration policy. And she's a kook. She's got a bunch of frivolous lawsuits. She's been arrested a bunch of times. Ridiculous person. But my point is,
so you would have left her up there,
it
too.
reminds me of the anthem kneelers. When the anthem kneelers, they kneel and they say it's about something, and everybody else thinks it's about disrespect and something else. It's not a very good protest. The tactics are wrong. It goes the other way. Remember, Occupy Wall Street started off as, we want to, solid wages for people, and then they started like fighting cops and blocking traffic. Or Black Lives Matter, against police brutality. That's a good thing. And then they protest the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade and ruin all, the camaraderie for the families there. It just goes in the opposite direction, and it plays into President Trump's hands. He won on law and order, safety and security, and respect for law enforcement. And I agree, she is a clown.
You like him drawing the distinction between what he wants to run on, which is safety and security, and basically saying that the Democrats want you to not be safe?
Well, I mean, that's 101. I mean, that's political playbook 101. I mean, Republicans always run on law and order, and the Democrats just want to have a party and let everybody in free and give away everybody else's money. That's why you're a Republican. You want to keep your money because you earned it. That's why I'm a Republican. But, protests are uncomfortable. And this is where I disagree with Jesse just a little bit. Any protest is uncomfortable. And there's a reason for it. And being a citizen in the United States, you have the right to protest. Her approach, climbing, I probably wouldn't have done it, but it got a lot of attention. And people are talking about it. And even despite her weirdness or the fact that she blamed it on Michelle Obama, who said take the high ground, so she took the highest ground. I was like, that's not your.
Lost in
what are you
translation.
doing?
That's not what she said.
Michelle doesn't want any of that.
No, but the point is, like, she has a right. And as Americans, we have the right to protest, and I would never infringe upon that. And no one was hurt, but I agree with you. As a Republican and a conservative, she cost us a lot of money and hurt the city, and I would prefer your protest be free of charge for me and my taxes. That's all I'm saying.
Get a permit.
Are
And
instances like this?
Not to melt the ice, but,
Okay, very good. Very good.
Oh.
ice
Break the ice.
is a tough job. They're following their directives. Going after it, saying, we're going to take away ICE, I think is unfair to the men and women who work their behinds off. They're following their directives. If you have issues, maybe change policies, maybe change the way things are done, but don't attack the institution. Those are American citizens who are working hard and following directions.
Anne Marie, you're an expert in communications. You've worked for a Democratic administration. Do you feel like this is all like really off, like some sort of discordant violin? Like, whoa, what are you guys doing?
I like that word.
Yes, I like it too.
Yes.
Good one.
Yes,
Good one.
I think that the president knows immigration is a winner for him with his base, and I don't want the Democrats to fall into the trap of running to an extreme. Look, ICE is a problem right now because of the policies the president is having them implement, as Tyrus just said. So if you want to change the policies, you have to change the politicians, right?
Right.
And so I don't think ICE, or the men and women of it, should be the target. We also have almost a dozen ICE members signing a letter this week calling for ICE to be reconstituted to take away from some of the things they've been asked to do under President Trump, which was not their original mandate. They were originally set up after 9/11 in part to help do things like fight terrorism. So look, illegal immigration numbers have been steadily declining for a decade. We do not have a crisis at the border, but we need better immigration policies and we need border security. The problem is the president runs way far to the right. He runs way far to one extreme, and Democrats fall into the trap and often run way far to the other extreme, which I think is bad politics and also bad policy. And there's no one in the middle anymore, particularly in Congress, who's willing to help solve it.
It's interesting, Kimberly, because you do look at sort of the independents are saying they agree immigration should be dealt with, but they just want Washington to do something. Do you think that they will ever get anything done?
Yeah, it's very frustrating to me, but I think this extremism, this rhetoric, abolish ICE, I think it's nonsensical. I don't like it. I think that we should stand, I agree with your points, that we should stand with the men and women that are working hard, trying to do something to help this country in terms of public safety and enforce the laws. I didn't realize that it's so grossly unpopular to actually enforce the laws. They have a job to do. What's next? Abolish all the police departments? Abolish all the military? I mean, this just makes absolutely no sense.
No, just the IRS.
Yeah, okay.
And
You're
that's
right.
I think that's a real big problem.
It's like,
to get attention and to get media attention, you have to use like the most extreme language. So they say abolish ICE, and then all of a sudden it takes on a life of its own, and it drags all of the Democrats along with it. Okay, stay right there. The Fastest 7 is next. That's all I have.
Is next.
Are you with me? Let that eagle cooler mark your piece of paradise. Summer nights, everybody. You say, Shama, why don't you call my name?
Welcome back. Time for the Fastest 7. First up, send in the clones. 49 to be exact. Miracle Millie is the world's teeniest chihuahua ever in recorded dog history.
Tiniest?
30... Tiniest. Teeniest? 3.8 inches tall and weighing the same as a large apple. Thanks, Mom. Scientists creating a record-breaking 49 genetically identical copies based on her genes, hoping to crack the genetic code behind her tiny stature.
Better.
The pint-sized pooch now holds the new world record for most cloned dog, according to the Academy of World Records. Dana, is this proper?
I'm not for it.
No.
I'm not going to, I'm just saying, I don't like it. I think that each creature is created with an individual stamp from God, and I am not for this. I don't think you have to beat every world record. Why do we need 49 of these same dogs?
I know, like every record's made to be broken. Kimberly, I think they should name the Chihuahua Tiny.
Not teeny.
Not teeny. Teeny tiny. Very teeny and tiny.
Tiner.
Is that a thing?
Chihuahua.
I thought I said the right way.
No, yeah, it's cool.
All right.
Anyway,
Like taken or tooken, you know?
Yeah, not
Yeah, just like that. Just like that, exactly.
Wow. Okay. Next up, hooked on phonics. On the 5, we're going to figure it all out. Yeah, I think this is a little creepy.
Yeah, I do too.
Right?
Even I think it's creepy.
Right. You might want to
that's
like
a tall
clone
threshold.
yourself, Jesse.
I know.
I do.
49 times.
I
Kimberly.
actually do want to clone myself. I would like to raise myself in my own image. Oh my! I'd correct all the flaws that other people tried raising me. I would have
What
perfect
flaws?
me.
Wow.
Spend
Wow.
a weekend with me. Think about it. You could raise yourself. Who would be more proud of you than you?
Never
quite
disappointed.
interesting.
Jesse has no problem
Can
with
you
that.
imagine that
What
little
if you
Jesse running
hated
around? It
your-
was exactly, you knew
What if you
everything.
hated
God.
yourself?
I don't.
Well, what if you did?
What,
Then I
you
wouldn't
would not
clone
clone
myself.
yourself.
No, it's like, yeah.
But I love me some Tyrus, and I
Is there
would love a
something
little
you want to
Tyrus.
talk about?
No, I have nothing to add to this conversation.
I just can't imagine a little Tyrus.
If you were there first.
Or a teeny.
Teeny tiny Tyrus.
Well, he'd start out in my little vase and watch him grow.
We need 5 fan
and
Photoshop
you
to work
crack
on
the
that.
vase, and it's
But it have a
sweet.
little hat on backwards like this.
So proud of
Next up,
Yeah.
soap cutting is now all the rage on social media. One Instagrammer slices up colorful bars on camera. Why? She claims it creates a physically pleasant feeling for her more than 10,000 followers.
My name's Kaylin Brady, and I have a Soapstagram. I basically just cut soap on Instagram. I like softer soaps because they're like a real nice, smooth cut, and they have a good sound when they drop.
Oh, it's the sound when it drops.
I think this is a little weird. I think it's a little fetishy or something.
Producers?
Can I?
Wait,
Wow,
what?
Jesse, were you hurting for material today?
Me? I didn't pick this stuff.
I mean, Jesse.
All right, anybody have any
Can I
thoughts
make
on
money
soap?
doing
So
this?
cloning.
Does she make money doing this?
No, honestly, we have a 4% unemployment rate. I mean, it's amazing how you can make money in
Yeah,
America.
but I mean, like-
Unbelievable.
In the
I like
Trump
this-
economy, anything's
yeah,
possible.
Smell
soap
of
cutting is a
soap.
thing.
Is playing outside that bad?
I just
Going
think
on
this
a
is
date?
a little.
At least they're clean.
This is why I'm not on
They're
social
not
media.
using the soap for that. They just cut it and then cut some more.
Very wasteful. They
All
waste
right.
the soap.
Yeah, exactly. Some people need that soap.
It's a teeny bit weird.
Why don't people
I
use
know I
it
have
to?
time, but I'm going to move on.
You're
And finally
struggling
tonight,
today, Jess. I don't know what's
Tyrus,
going on.
I
Yes.
think you'll really appreciate this video. Here's a Buffalo, New York wrestler launching his opponent a dozen feet in the air, over the top rope, and out of the ring. Play it.
Signaling for it here. Both men go to the corner. And the pounce to the outside! Pounce sends him over the top to the outside!
That was one of the best moves I've seen in a while.
Hashtag oops. I hope they're friends because you owe him dinner.
Yeah, what happens
but
when
the
you
guy
injure
who
the
got
guy you
shot
listen.
at a
Listen,
Oh!
if you go back in the beginning, first of all, homie is in a little better shape because he's blown up. It's a term. He's blown up. But they talked before they went, and the guy was like, "Are you sure?" And then he just hit it. This was a mistake because otherwise you have to
Oh!
do this every night for the next
That doesn't
3
look
nights.
like a mistake to me.
Wait, whose mistake was it?
The guy who got tossed
The
came
guy
back into
who
the ring and
hesitated.
won.
The,
Did you see
the
that?
skinny guy, the guy with the skunk hair, he hesitates when he hits the rope, like, no, I don't want, no.
Oh, yeah,
And then he jumps in the
yeah,
air.
I saw
the
that.
other guy's exhausted. These are two young guys trying to find their way. Mistakes happen.
I
That's why
saw
they're not
that.
on the
He
main
hesitates.
stage
He
yet.
goes, "Up."
But
Yep.
wrestling is simulated combat. It hurts.
I just
But
don't
your
see-
opponent,
Wait, weird.
he puts his body into your hands. And in my career, I'd never hurt anybody in the ring, and that's something I'm very proud of. You're going to do painful things. We know certain things are going to hurt, but that's extra. So,
Have you ever been hurt in the ring by somebody else?
you know what? I
By
wrestled
accident?
Heath Slater. He kept jabbing me in a house show, kept popping me in the eye, and I was like, bruh, I swear to. And then he'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Pop me again. I was like, one more time. And he did it again and ended up chasing him around the ring because I'm going to hit you. He's like, don't hit me. So, yeah, he stiffed me a lot wherever you are, Slater. But
You're scaring Dana. Are you okay?
but
by the way?
No, I'm good. I'm
it's a physical.
fascinated.
It's a
I thought it was
physical-
all fake.
The only thing that is fake that we know for sure is
He just
news.
gave you a look.
Okay, simulated combat. Yes, maybe
cannot believe you
predetermined,
just-
but it's
I don't
a
know.
hell
I
of a
mean,
way to
is
get
it
there.
not?
Respect
Dana,
the wrestling
I cannot
business.
I don't know.
believe
No,
that.
Respect the magic show.
I respect
But
it.
it still hurts.
I respect it.
I
you
think,
were better
I
than
think
Please.
it looked like he
Please
did
don't
that
hurt
on
me.
purpose.
But the guy who got thrown out
The
and
guy who
tossed
got thrown
came
out
back in and
Because
won.
he's supposed to.
Yeah.
But if he was smart, he would have sold it, got counted out, and then he would have did it next week. But
How I feel every day. on
And then
the
they
show.
went and used some soap.
That is fascinating.
yeah.
No, I really have never.
It's a
that
tough
is-
hustle. Don't
it's
get
the
it
most
twisted.
I've ever
It's a
learned.
Tough hustle.
You got to
All
be
right.
Shakespeare. You got to be an athlete, and you got to be able to heal quick.
Yep.
So,
Dana's
That's what
going
they
over
say
the
to Jesse
turnbuckle
every
in the
day
break.
here.
yes.
All right, Tyrus, be nice to her.
Jesse, wrap
Because I'm not
this
going to
up.
do anything about it.
Jesse, let's go.
Don't go anywhere, Fan Mail Friday up next.
Jesse, let's
Land the plane.
Oh yeah, Fan Mail Friday is finally here. Let's get to it.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow, riveting stuff here. All right, Facebook question from Jack P. Kimberly,
Yes.
what vegetable did you hate as a child and still hate now?
I got one.
Okay, so here's the thing. Do they technically count as vegetables? I think so.
What?
I don't like beets.
Yeah.
and
I like beets.
don't
No,
like
she hates
onion.
beets.
No, I really.
I know that about
Right,
you.
babe?
Like if you and I were to do like a test, like
Okay, the question was for, maybe I'm new, but the question was, you can't, no assist. This is not Waters. You're not going to interrupt everybody. Answer, is it onions or beets?
Oh, I have to pick one?
Yes, it
I'm gonna
says
lead
one.
with
It didn't say
beets.
two.
Good answer? Good answer. Good
Don't
answer.
help.
Good answer.
Yeah, beets. It's beets.
Democrat.
Well, I'm gonna mix it up. I actually really hate certain fruits. Like
That was not the question.
know, but I'm gonna make that the
This is the
question.
problem. You guys always change the subject.
I know. Like I hate mangoes and pineapple. I know. I hate all of that. It makes me
Please
nauseous
don't
to
say
think
that.
about. Wow.
I love mangoes.
But
They're
vegetables
from
are
my
fine.
Yeah, I'm cool with vegetables.
country.
Okay.
Puerto Rico, we love mangoes.
Waters, don't let me down.
Are peppers a vegetable?
Yes.
They are right now, yes.
Peppers.
Wow.
We're going with peppers.
Peppers.
We're going with peppers.
Particularly
Survey.
why, just
Final answer.
Survey
I don't like
says-
the consistency of peppers. They're
Excellent.
slimy.
tremendous.
You're getting the
But
wrong
I
kind
like
of
them, and I
peppers,
think they look gorgeous in a salad when
them.
you
They
slice
look good,
red,
but don't
yellow,
taste good.
orange.
I have an eggplant.
Oh.
Eggplant?
Can't stand
Only
it.
fried.
Really?
Not any of it. None
Have
of
you
it.
ever had eggplant lasagna? It's
Can't take it.
delicious.
Or
Baba
Pretty good.
ganoush.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
really
Nope, I hate
good.
baba
Oh,
ganoush.
you can't come back in now. You
Coming back in. Coming back in.
You know what?
And you?
I hate squash.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's not the best.
Really?
It's true.
It's just
Yeah.
the name. You know,
Squash.
squash. It's like
Isn't it supposed to be
for
a
like
sport?
people who don't like mashed potatoes and make you eat squash. I'm a mashed potatoes guy,
I love mashed potatoes.
which is phenomenal, but that was not the question. All right, Facebook question number 2 from Danette H.
Yeah.
What is your morning routine to get ready for work? Yours is going to take up most of the time. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Very,
How
you're
much
very
time do you
organized.
have?
So yeah, please let me learn some things.
Okay, so morning routine to get ready for what? For work or for the day?
Whatever you want to go.
All right. Well, I would say that 100% I have to eat a piece of salami every day. Maybe now it's become a ritual, so I have to eat salami every day. It's not even a joke. Like I eat
No, I'm just trying to be an adult.
Day.
Okay.
It puts me in the happy space and whatever. And then I use my little Neutrogena face wipe to make sure if there's no mascara hanging here, whatever. Fresh face, and get ready for the day. And then a little itty bitty gym workout.
Itty bitty. Woman who hates wrestling?
No, I didn't say that. I like it.
Too late.
I like
she said it.
No, I didn't.
Morning routine.
Defend
What-
me. I didn't say anything about that. Okay, morning routine. 5:30 a.m. Wake up, start reading. Read.
Send
Peter
emails.
brings me my
emails.
Carnation Instant Breakfast and my English breakfast tea with honey. Then I go for my workout, and then I come here for the show.
Huh.
When Peter's
All
done,
right.
can you
Well,
have
I
him
know
stop
it's
by,
phenomenal.
Dana?
Well, we don't have
Can you
to
him
get
stop-
in until 5, actually. So I don't wake up at 5:30 a.m. I'll roll out whenever I feel like it. Bacon, egg, and cheese. Hit the gym really hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe you.
Couple hours
Gun
at
shop.
least. And, shower, throw on a nice tailored suit, and head in and prep hard.
Wow.
And what about the extreme blow drying that you do of your hair? See? True
That is
story.
fake news.
No, it's not. You know it's true.
Fake news.
Jesse.
Okay, fine. I started blow drying my hair, but it's not an extreme situation.
I'd say it is.
It looks better now, doesn't it?
100%.
Thank you.
I don't know how to follow that. I wake up, I have my coffee. My husband makes breakfast. He's actually a very good cook. So
What kind of things does he make?
he makes really good scrambled eggs with all kinds of different stuff in them. So
Oh
like
my gosh,
gourmet
Peter needs to
scrambled
up his
eggs.
game.
Wow.
I've been eating Carnation Instant Breakfast for 10 years.
Wow.
Literally 10 years.
I like,
Yeah,
I
he's
bought
a really
that
good
'cause of
cook. And then I go for a run, and then like Dana, I read everything I can read, and then come into work.
Huh.
Yeah, I really like eggs also in the morning.
Josh, are
hard-boiled
you listening?
eggs, poached eggs, eggs over easy,
Sunny side
No
up.
one else
Sunny
here
side
punches
up.
the snooze alarm
Definitely
once.
hungry.
What's yours?
scrambled
Well, the first thing I do
eggs.
is punch the snooze alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Usually wake up with a mean look on my face. I'm lazy, so I usually go to a restaurant, Coffee Rainy, where I'll have my 3 eggs over medium, bacon, and English
Every
muffin,
day?
double toasted every other.
That's what I'm talking about.
Then I'll go hit the gym and throw down some weights, and then that's when I'll check my phone after I'm working out.
Yeah, we should work out sometime.
Yeah, we really should.
Give me a spot.
Yeah. We'll film it. It'll be great. Make a
Can we all
documentary.
come along?
Can I please come watch that?
Oh my God.
You have to be this tall to run. No, absolutely. You can. You know what? It would be great. We'll just all work out together. We'll just
Okay,
be
that'd be fun.
phenomenal. All
Oh
right.
my gosh, that would be actually
All
very
right.
fun.
It's
I got some new workout pants with a
All
lot
right.
of pockets in them. What?
up next. One more thing is next.
Keep on climbing up.
It's time now for one more thing. Kimberly. Okay. I like calling on myself. All right. Newlyweds barely escaped this. Have you seen this on Fox? I saw it, but I thought we should watch it again. Escape as a tree branch falls while recording their wedding video. What? Could you imagine? Watch this. Just look closely here.
Oh, my
yes.
word.
So there you go. And it was supposed to be all romantic and sweet.
Wow.
I don't know. I hope they're not superstitious because that might not be a good sign.
Well, that's a good story to tell, though.
Just saying, right? The new bride suffered, though, minor injuries, and she was able to finish the interview like a total champ, which is amazing. She later said that our love is forever going to be stronger than the tree.
Absolutely.
Okay. Jesse, I hope you have a good one more thing today.
Well, it involves Waters World, so the answer is yes. Waters World, 8 o'clock. We have Ben Shapiro, Herman Cain, and Marie's favorite ladies, Diamond and Silk. Now, did you guys hear about this video of this teenager? He got his Make America Great Again hat stolen from him and a drink thrown on him. Check this out.
It's not nice.
Supporting the president. You ain't supporting.
Look at him.
Whoa.
So freaked out.
Yeah, the kid's only
Not nice.
16 years old, and he's going to be on Waters World in a world exclusive. See what I did there?
It really is a world exclusive. That's very nice, and that's good. And you get him a hat.
Yeah, we'll get him a new hat.
Nice. All right, well, good. And that guy lost his job, by the way.
Yeah.
Behaving in that man is very, very mean. It's
Yes.
not nice. Okay, thanks, Jesse. I'm glad I helped you with that.
Thank you.
Dana?
Thank you, Kimberly.
Well, one more thing first. I have something to promote. Just kidding. I don't really usually have anything to promote for the weekend. But tonight I'm going to fill in for Martha McCallum. Tonight on The Story.
And on Sunday.
And on Sunday, I have Fox News Sunday. I'm going to fill in for Chris Wallace just this 1 week. My guest will be Kay Bailey Hutchison. She's the U.S. ambassador to NATO, and you know the president's headed to do the NATO thing. Then I got Lindsey Graham. He's on the Senate Judiciary Committee, so he'll be there when the Supreme Court nomination is underway. And then Elise Hogue. She's the president of NARAL, which is Pro-Choice America. So we'll talk to her also about the Supreme Court. And then I will go home to see Peter and Jesper.
Oh, very, very sweet. Tell them I said hello. Send me some pictures this weekend. And we're going to be watching you on Sunday. That's fantastic. And tonight at 7 p.m. on The Story.
Right.
Outstanding. Hello, Tyrus.
Hi. I'm excited. My one more thing, we're going to keep that dog party going, okay? Bentley is a 12-year-old Maltese. While his owner, Lexi Leach, was away at college, her parents took Bentley on a road trip to Florida from Texas. As they traveled across state lines, they documented with photos of Bentley in front of each state sign. Aww. And he became a Twitter phenom, and he garnered over 28,000 retweets and over 1,000 likes. He's just out there living the dream.
Guess who's on The Story tonight? Bentley.
No way.
Yes, I have the family and the dog are coming on The Story tonight.
How cute is that?
Wow.
Now
It's like
4 plugs.
Dana and I wrote,
You're really plugging away.
Dana and I wrote back and
Tyrus
forth
is on the
about
Greg
this.
Gutfeld show on Saturday night.
Tyrus is on the Greg Gutfeld show. And Greg Gutfeld is on the Gutfeld show.
Yeah, he's there.
Oh, where in the world is Greggins? Just where is he? No one knows. Marie.
Okay, some sad news for my Cleveland Cavaliers. Everyone knows that LeBron is leaving and going to LA, but they made it official. In Cleveland, his banner has been taken down off of the side of this building. It's a Nike banner. It was at the Sherman-Williams headquarters building. If you look at the video, it is massive. I mean, this is from when I think it was put up around the time we won the championship. Anyways, for Cavs fans, watching this get taken down was very dramatic.
What does Cleveland have now?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Cleveland Indians, Lake Erie. I can go on.
The Indians? Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah.
It's the Cleveland Native Americans. Come on.
Great Lakes Brewing Company? Come on.
All right.
Ohio has a ton of good stuff. Anyways, LeBron is leaving. It's official. This is a sad day for Cleveland. The banner's gone. We will have to now all root for the LA Lakers, which is very painful.
No, we don't.
I know.
Celtics.
We
Okay.
don't.
Go
What about the
I
Denver
don't mind
Nuggets?
the name, though. It's Native American.
moves.
Who's on the
woman,
Denver Nuggets?
6.1%.
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
But they are a great team.
All right, Dana. All right, Dana, we're going to watch you tonight at 7
Thank you.
p.m. and Sunday, and that's
And then
it.
Monday, I'll be
and
back.
Monday, absolutely.
And then Tuesday,
And okay, every day. All right, well, that's it for us right now, but not for Dana. Be sure to tune in Monday because Sean Hannity joins us here on The Five as our special co-host. Don't miss it. Special report is up next. Hello, Brett.
I think it's the Dana Network now. Thank you, Kimberly. This is a Fox News Alert. Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. In just a few minutes, Congressman Jim Jordan joins me live in studio following at least 5 former wrestlers who claim that as Ohio State University assistant wrestling coach, Jordan knew about a team doctor at the school who the former athletes say sexually abused them and others. Jordan insists those allegations are false. We will lay all of it out with him here live on set next. But before we talk to the congressman, Chief Congressional Correspondent Mike Emanuel looks at the controversy surrounding this case.
There are now 5 former Ohio State wrestlers accusing Republican Congressman Jim Jordan of knowing about a team doctor's alleged sexual misconduct. Jordan was an assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State more than 20 years ago. Fox has reviewed some of the emails written by former wrestler Mike DeSabato to Jordan, including this one from June 15th. Reverend James, the squeaky clean U.S. congressman from Urbana, who does not recall systemic sex abuse, he wants to Speaker of the House despite his apparent lack of knowledge of systemic sex abuse. He concluded a May 6th email with hashtag rape cover-up, a way of life. DeSabato told Fox he sent the emails to Jordan to help him realize he needed a lead on what he suggests was common knowledge.
It was an uncomfortable joke that Doc would and wanted to give you a genital exam every time you saw him.
Jordan denies being aware of sexual abuse. He says the timing of the attacks is suspicious.
It's right after the big hearing with Mr. Rosenstein. It's right when there's all this talk about speaker's race. The law firm who was doing the investigation said they tried to contact us and we didn't respond. We have no record.
Emails obtained by Fox show that law firm tried contacting him at jim.jordan@mail.house.gov, which his office says is a non-existent account. The congressman received full support from President Trump on Air Force One late yesterday. Quote, Jim Jordan is one of the most outstanding people I've met since I've been in Washington. I believe him 100%. With lawmakers out of town, it's been pretty quiet, but next week, Jordan's colleagues will be fielding many questions about the congressman and this controversy. Brett?
Mike Emanuel, thank you. We are now joined by Congressman Jordan, a first time dealing with all of this in detail. Good evening, Congressman.
Good to be with you.
You heard that report. Yeah. You've seen the reports in recent days. Your reaction first to all of this?
It's false. I mean, I never saw, never heard of, never was told about any type of abuse. If I had been, I would have dealt with it. Our coaching staff, we would have dealt with it. These were our student athletes. A good coach puts the interest of his student athletes first. We would have dealt with it if we'd have known about anything that happened. If in fact there are victims, they deserve justice. There's an investigation going on. We're going to, I think, meet with them next week. We want the investigation to get to the truth. That's what we need here is the truth.
All right, take a listen to DeSabato from one of the statements he made earlier this week.
I know Jim knew about what I call the deviant sexual atmosphere that we were exposed to.
How do you know?
Well, we all had conversations. Jim was more like a big brother than a coach. It was something that we would discuss on a regular basis, mainly with nervous banter, locker room banter.
Now there are 5, at least 5. One Politico is saying there's 6. Where are these guys coming from?
Conversations in a locker room are a lot different than allegations of abuse or reported abuse to us. I mean, I've been around the sport of wrestling my entire life. kids wrestling, junior high wrestling, high school wrestling, University of Wisconsin, coached at Ohio State. I got 2 boys who wrestled for the Badgers. I got 4 nephews who wrestled at Ohio State, another nephew who wrestles for Iowa. Conversations in a locker room are a lot different than people coming up and talking about abuse. No one ever reported any abuse to me. If they had, I would have dealt with it. And what bothers me the most is the guys that are saying this thing, I know they know the truth. I know they do. Dunyashi Yet, he wrestled for. We trained with these guys every day, sometimes twice a day, and for I know what they're saying. I know they know what they're saying is not accurate.
So what do you think the motivation is then?
You'd have to ask them, but I will tell you with Mike DeSabato. Mike DeSabato has a vendetta against Ohio State. He lost a licensing agreement with Ohio State. He is out to get Ohio State. He has a vendetta against our family. He was arrested just 5 months ago, threatening Chris Spielman's lawyer. And Chris Spielman, he's got all kinds of lawsuits against him. And what bothers me more than that is the fact that CNN puts him on TV 3 times in one day. I mean, if they would have done their homework instead of rushing to put someone on TV who's had a criminal record, all kinds of lawsuits against him, saying these kind of false things, but waited for to get the real facts about this guy's background.
Okay, but there are others. It's not just him. Now there are 5. The Wall Street Journal talked to the former UFC world champion, Mark Coleman, who says he has an affinity for you, likes you a lot. But he says, quote, there's no way, unless he's got dementia or something, that he's got no recollection of what was going on at Ohio State. I have nothing but respect for this man. I love this man. But he knew as far as I'm concerned.
I feel sorry for Mark Coleman. Mark Coleman wrestled for us, was a national champ, and then was one of our coaches for several years. That it's just not accurate. There there never was abuse reported to me, and if there was, we'd have dealt with it.
Sean Daly, former Ohio State wrestler. I participated with Jimmy and other